that we have a constitution, and that in this country, everyone is presumed innocent until proven guilty, and that we have statute of limitations involved. So if there is no proof of guilt, if there's a man who's never been charged with a crime, who's never been convicted of a crime, who's never stood charged for a crime, who's never admitted a crime, then that person is given the same benefits, whether they are a person on the street or whether they are a person in the mansion. And we have to all decide as Americans that that's the way we do things here, and that when you can't prosecute someone, it's not then okay to choose to persecute them instead. And that is exactly what's happening now. People are trying to do through the media, through public opinion, what cannot legally be done in a court of law.
Pull the magazine cover up. What you see here, they left an empty chair, and they say that chair is for those women who are afraid to come forward. Some of the women who were in this piece, they say they know of other women who are afraid of being ridiculed, who are afraid of being trashed. And folks who are rape survivors say that's part of the problem, that men who are powerful, men who are rich, they say men like Bill Cosby will silence people and not cause them to come forward to prosecute.
And we probably need a reality check there, because in the 70s, which is when many 60s and 70s are many of these allegations, Mr. Cosby was an African-American man who would have been accused of, even though he was a comedian and somewhat famous at that time, not the height of fame for the Cosby years, but it was white female women, African-American men. And what we're saying, what we're being asked to believe, is that no one came forward because no one would have been believed. And I do not find that credible. What I'm asking Americans to do is look at it. And even if you look at the magazine cover, some more of those chairs should be empty. Why? Because one of the people who was featured in the magazine gave a story about something happening at the Tonight Show. It was proven to be false. There were no charges after this story was told. It's someone who's no longer being interviewed, but they still got a spot. Another person who was on there, whose chair should be empty, was someone whose manager came forward and said, no, I remember during that time when those meetings took place, and this person had nothing but favorable things to say about the Cosbys. So why is it that in the media, the accusers, the allegations are allowed to stand and critical questions aren't asked, such as, what date did it happen? What time did it happen? Where were the witnesses? Why didn't you report? If he raped you one time, what you're saying now is you were raped a second time and a third time. How is that even logical? These questions are not being asked.
Speaking of those questions, this is the last question for me. There's going to be a deposition taking place in a lawsuit. Gloria already is involved with that. A young woman said she was 15 years old or so, was raped by Bill Cosby at the Playboy Mansion. In that deposition, those questions can be asked. Will Bill Cosby participate?
Well, if there is a legally noticed deposition and after everything's been done by the lawyers, Mr. Cosby's not hiding from being deposed. He's not hiding from coming and telling the truth of the matter. I think that he will testify truthfully. He will testify at such time as the lawyers have done their jobs and we can move forward. But even in that case, you see someone who's claiming something 40 years ago, but claiming that only recently, in 3 years ago, did she realize that there was an injury because she was a minor at the time. I'm asking people to put their thinking caps on, to ask critical questions, and to do what is necessary here to make sure that the system of justice that we believe in this country applies to everyone.
All right, Monique, personally, we certainly appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for having me.